My partner wanted to break up, so I tried to win them back, but I ended up discovering something even worse. I didn't think it would end like this. When I look back on everything, I can't help but wonder if there were signs I missed. It all feels like a blur now. One moment, I was living in what I thought was a stable, loving relationship, and the next, everything came crashing down around me. My partner Alex and I had been together for almost 3 years. To say I loved them would be an understatement. I was in deep. It wasn't just love, it was the kind of connection that made you feel like you were a part of something bigger. We understood each other in ways no one else did. We'd talk about our hopes, our fears, the future we wanted to build. We shared everything, our quirks, our dreams, our family histories. But now, as I sit here, looking at my phone with trembling hands, I can't even remember the last time we were truly happy. I remember the first time I met Alex. It was at a mutual friend's party. I wasn't expecting to meet anyone that night, honestly. I had been coming out of a rough patch in my life, and the last thing I wanted was to start a new relationship. But there was something about Alex. They weren't overly flashy or attention-seeking, but they had this calm presence that immediately drew me in. I remember feeling a pull toward them from the moment we started talking. It was one of those rare conversations that just clicked. No forced small talk, no awkward silences. We talked about everything and nothing at all. Books, movies, random childhood memories. It felt easy. A week later, we went on our first date. We went to a tiny cafe that served the best lattes I'd ever had, and I remember feeling like I had known them my entire life. It was surreal. The whole date felt like something out of a movie, and I couldn't stop smiling the whole time. From then on, we were inseparable. We spent weekends exploring new places, binge-watching shows, and sharing everything. I loved how we fit together, how they knew exactly how to make me laugh when I was down, how we could sit in comfortable silence for hours and it never felt awkward. Everything just made sense. Alex and I moved in together after a year of dating. It wasn't the perfect apartment, small with old pipes and drafty windows, but it was ours. And it felt right. We built a life, our life, together. And we talked about the future. We talked about marriage, about kids, about all the things you talk about when you're certain someone is your forever person. But then, little things started to shift. At first, it was subtle. Alex started working longer hours. They'd come home late, saying they were caught up with work or had an urgent deadline. I didn't think much of it. Alex had always been driven, passionate about their career. But the late nights turned into weeks, and soon I noticed that their phone was always glued to their hand. They started going to the gym more frequently, spending hours there, even when I asked if they wanted to spend time with me. I didn't want to sound needy, so I pushed down my concerns. I kept telling myself that maybe I was just being paranoid. Maybe they're just stressed. But the distance between us kept growing, and it wasn't just physical. It was emotional too. One night I tried to talk about it. I remember it so clearly. It was late, and we were lying in bed, the soft glow of our bedside lamp casting shadows across the room. "Hey, I've noticed you've been really distant lately," I said, trying to sound calm, not accusatory. "Is everything okay?" Alex didn't look at me. They fiddled with the edge of the blanket, their voice barely above a whisper. "I'm just tired. Work's been draining, and I just need some time to myself." It didn't feel like just that. It felt like there was more going on, but I didn't press. I didn't want to seem clingy or demanding. Maybe it was just a phase, I told myself. Relationships have ups and downs. It would pass. But it didn't. And then it happened. It was a Wednesday, just like any other. I had just finished a long day of work and was looking forward to a quiet evening with Alex. We had planned to cook dinner together, something we hadn't done in a while, and I was excited about it. I had even picked up a bottle of wine on my way home. But when I walked in the door, Alex wasn't there. I found a note on the counter. Had to go out for a bit. I'll be back soon. Don't wait up. I was a little annoyed, but I didn't think too much of it. They'd been acting strange for a while, but I didn't expect what was about to happen. I sat on the couch for about an hour, flipping through TV channels, waiting for Alex to come back. When they finally walked in, I didn't even have to ask what was going on. The look on their face told me everything. "We need to talk," Alex said, not even taking off their jacket. My heart started racing. "What's wrong?" "I don't think I can do this anymore," Alex said, sitting down on the edge of the couch. "I've been thinking a lot about us, and I just don't think I'm in this relationship anymore." I blinked, hoping I misheard them. "What? No? No, Alex, you can't be serious." They looked away, avoiding my gaze. "I think we need to break up." I felt the air leave my body. "What? You're breaking up with me?" Alex nodded, their face a mixture of sadness and determination. "I don't want to hurt you, but I can't keep pretending that things are okay when they're not." My mind was racing, trying to process everything they were saying. But we're fine, I thought. We were fine. We'd talked about our future, about marriage, about growing old together. How could they just throw all of that away? "Is there someone else?" I asked, my voice trembling, even though I didn't want to ask it. Alex hesitated, and that hesitation spoke louder than any words could. "Yes," they finally said. "There's someone else." I didn't know what to do. I just sat there, feeling completely numb. I didn't understand how this was happening. How could the person I thought was my soulmate be telling me they were in love with someone else? How could they do this to me? In the days that followed, I tried everything to convince Alex to give us another chance. I thought that if I showed them how much I cared, how much I was willing to work on our issues, maybe they'd change their mind. Maybe we could fix this. I began doing everything I could to win them back. I texted them constantly, telling them how much I loved them, how much I wanted to fix things. I even went to their favorite cafe, the one we used to visit all the time, hoping to run into them and have a heart-to-heart conversation. But each time I reached out, Alex became more distant. It wasn't working. Nothing was working. Then, one afternoon, I found something I wasn't supposed to find. I had been sitting in our living room, flipping through old photos on my phone, trying to distract myself from the pain. That's when I found a text from Alex to someone named Sophie. At first, I thought it was just another friend, but as I kept reading, my heart sank. The messages weren't about friendship. They were flirty, intimate. And that's when I realized the extent of Alex's betrayal. They had been seeing Sophie for months before we even broke up. It wasn't just a rebound. It wasn't a one-time thing. They had been hiding a full-blown relationship from me while telling me they needed space. I was devastated. I didn't know what to do, what to say. My world had shattered into a million pieces, and all I could do was sit there in silence, staring at my phone, feeling the weight of the betrayal crushing me. I couldn't let it go. I had to know the truth. So I texted Alex and demanded to meet up. When we met at the park, I was trembling. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. But I needed answers. "Why didn't you just tell me?" I asked, voice breaking. "Why did you lie to me? Why did you make me believe that everything was okay when it wasn't?" Alex's face was blank. "I didn't want to hurt you," they said, as if that made any sense. "I was already in love with Sophie, but I didn't know how to end things with you without causing more damage." I felt a wave of nausea hit me. "So you were seeing her while we were still together? And you didn't think I'd find out?" Alex didn't answer, and the silence spoke volumes. That night I went home and packed up my things. There was no point in staying. Everything that had been built between us felt like a lie. I had been the last to know, and now all I could do was try to pick up the pieces of my broken heart and move forward. But the worst part? I didn't know who I could trust anymore. If I could be fooled by the person I loved the most, then who was real? It's been months since everything happened. Some days I still feel that ache deep in my chest. I've tried dating again, but it's hard. How do you trust again when the person you trusted most in the world shattered that trust so completely? But I've learned something in the process. I can't control other people's actions. I can only control how I react. And I'm learning to move on, to take back control of my life, one painful step at a time.